Hello, everybody. Welcome to Journey Through the Generations. We're back with another episode of Relative Race Recap. What a great
It
episode.
was wonderful. It's hard to believe episode 6 tonight, and they brought it tonight.
Yes, day 6 of Relative Race. We're halfway through the season, so it's getting real out there
Is
in
it?
those Relative Race streets.
Oh, it is. Yes, it got real
Yes, it is.
tonight.
It is definitely getting real. And so this was quite a bit of stuff happened today and met some good family members. So, of course, the day started off with a little bit of a recap and people going through and sharing different things with their family members. You know, what happened before the race started.
The morning started off with Team Blue. They were still with their Aunt Joyce, their mom's sister, and she showed the twins photos of her father, which would be their grandfather. So, of course, those are pictures that they've never seen before. So they were really excited to see that. So Team Green, Monica's still with her sister Crystal, and Monica was able to show her pictures of her and her family in her childhood because Crystal wanted to know how she grew up, and I think she was just wanting to make sure she had a good life and she wasn't, in a bad family or anything like that. So she showed her pictures of her parents and her childhood. So she seemed to really enjoy looking at those pictures with her sister. Team Black, if you remember the last week, they slept in a tent outside. And it was like a pretty large tent. So the two of them on Team Black and her brother and his family, I think it was 2 kids, they all slept in a tent outside. And Casey was saying that she doesn't do tents. She's more of a glamper. She likes a camper or a cabin. But she said that she enjoyed it and they had a good night's rest. And Team Red, basically, they just really were trying to refocus because they've been in the bottom every day, either the last or they got a strike or they were in third place for the last 5 days. So they were just trying to refocus and make sure they had everything planned out and they had their maps ready and they had their bags by the car so they could get going.
Yeah, and Team Red, I've said it in the past episodes that they're always in third place or last place.
Yeah.
And I felt like their problem was the challenges.
Yes.
And so we'll talk about it a little bit later how they did today. But of course, as you know, Team Blue started off with 2 strikes. They were the only team with 2 strikes. Everyone else has 1 strike. So today for Team Blue,
It's critical.
have to perform today.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what
Happens.
place they come in. They need first, second, or third.
Yes, they have to do good navigating. They need to do good in the driving and the challenge. They just need to do good in everything. And just a reminder, Team Black won last week, so they got the prize for today, which would be 5 minutes of real GPS, like on their phone GPS.
Yeah.
So they were able to decide when they wanted to use that as well this morning.
Yep. So after all of that happened, they got the text from Dan. And what were all the times that they had to travel to their relative's house?
The drive times were not bad at all. They were all under 3 hours. Team Green had a drive time of 1 hour and 52 minutes. Team Black had a drive time of 1 hour and 54 minutes. Team Blue had a drive time of 1 hour and 57 minutes. And Team Red had the longest drive time of 2 hours and 43 minutes.
All right, so no one ran into any travel problems like weather or anything like that.
Nope.
Or they got lost. It seemed, and it was edited pretty
Right.
hard. So, you couldn't really tell, but it seemed like everybody had
a
a
smooth
pretty good drive.
to the challenge, to the
Right.
city selfie.
Yep. So everybody got to the city selfie, and they took their pictures. And I told Trisha, I think it was Team Blue, when they got their picture cut off the end of the town. I think it was Holy in the Walls or Hills
Something
or
like
something
Hills.
like that. And part of Hills was cut off. So I told Trisha, I was like, relative race is really lenient with city selfies nowadays, because in the past, if your face was cut off or if part of the
name was cut
city
off,
was cut off, Dan made you retake a picture.
it. He was sending that back. Reject.
Yeah, so they're really lenient on that nowadays. So of course they got their text from Dan on where they needed to do the challenge. The challenge I thought was a fun challenge.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was really fun.
It was fun to watch for sure.
Right. And so the name of the challenge is called Open Wide. And
It's so funny.
Yeah. They used, and I've seen these before on TV, but they used those dental, what do you call them?
Mouthpieces. Those, they're plastic and you stick them in. Maybe a lot of people use them for teeth whitening.
Yeah, I think they use them for whitening, and I think they may use them for like braces, and, stuff like that. But anyway, so they had that, and they had to say a phrase, and the other person had to repeat back the phrase
correctly.
and both team members had to do
They
it.
had to do 5 and 5.
Yep. So,
Get 5 correct.
So basically, everything with the letter P and B and probably D.
Yeah, D.
Was
Hard.
And everybody struggled a little bit.
Yeah, especially in the beginning. Team Black decided that they would sing their phrase. They thought that might help the teammate to hear it better or enunciate it better. So they sang a lot of their phrases, which I thought was interesting. They seemed to get it.
Yeah, and it seemed like to me, everybody speaks differently. And so you just had to find what worked best for you. Like when Devin was doing his, they went through pretty
quickly.
But when Liz sat down, they struggled a little bit. And so it sounded like to me that Liz slowed down and would say each word like as distinctly as she
possible,
could.
yeah.
And hopefully he got the words, and it seemed like they picked it up and Devin started to understand what she was saying and they got done.
It seemed like I think Team Green struggled with the challenge the most on both sides. It seemed like both of them didn't understand as quickly as the other teams.
Whereas the other teams, I think they had one person struggling
right,
instead of both of them.
Yeah.
So everybody finished the challenge. I don't think anyone took their whole 30 minutes, 30-minute time limit. So that was cool. And now it's time to go find their relative's house. So like Trisha mentioned before, the Black team got a chance to use a real GPS.
Yes, not that little fancy compass.
Yeah, as their reward for winning yesterday or last week in the TV show. And so,
but they could not write down the instructions.
Yep.
They couldn't go ahead and write stuff down.
And they only got 5 minutes
Correct.
to use it. And they were smart. I had to give it to them.
Oh, yeah, they were.
I haven't been liking Team Black here the last few
couple
weeks,
but
it continues today. But
their strategy playing the game is good.
They instead of they couldn't write it down, so they took a picture of the directions in the Google Maps or whatever they were using, and so they could use the turn by turn directions by taking a picture of it.
Right.
And so that
was smart.
That's young people think about that stuff.
And they looked to make sure they knew how long it took to get there also. So they knew how long it would take to get there. So that would help too. Because if you're driving for 20 minutes, it's only supposed to take 10 and you've passed your place. Yeah. So they were really smart about that. Team Red coming out of the challenge found somebody in the park and asked for directions. And so I think that helped them out with getting to their relative's house. However, Liz is the one who wrote the directions down, but she got them mixed up when she was telling Devin what to do. Luckily, Devin was paying attention when the lady was talking, because he was like, no, that's not what she said. Read what you wrote down.
Yeah.
So they got that.
She wasn't reading what she wrote down.
She was going off memory. Yeah.
It's like, you wrote it down.
Just read it. So, but they didn't get, tied up or turned around from that or anything. I just thought that was interesting that she had the directions on her lap, but she wanted to just tell him instead of reading it to make sure she got it right.
Yeah, and that could have been devastating. So
it really could have been.
That really would have messed them up.
Yeah, because they would have been going the opposite direction. Team Green seemed to struggle with their little fancy compass today.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah, they seemed to struggle with it because she couldn't get the coordinates in good. I don't know if she was hitting enter too fast or whatever, but she was having problems getting the coordinates in. And then once they got them in, she couldn't tell, the arrow. She couldn't tell if the arrow was in the right direction, if they were going in the right direction. So they had a little bit of a struggle moment with the little fancy compass.
Okay. I don't remember that. Mm-hmm. Did I take a nap?
No, I think you were eating.
And then did Team Blue have any issues with their GPS?
No, they didn't have any issues. They only had to turn around when they first got their call from Dan. But other than that, they didn't have any problems after the challenge that I remember. I didn't make a note of it, so I'm going to say no.
Okay. So, of course, everybody's on their way to meet their families. They're driving and getting their directions and everything. And so they finally make it and they meet their relatives. So we'll go through and talk about who everyone met in the order that they showed it on TV. Mm-hmm. But before we get there, if you're enjoying this content, you're liking what we're bringing, you are interested in family research, if you don't mind, we would appreciate it if you would subscribe or like our podcast, share it with your family and friends. If you have any genealogy buddies out there, share it with them, and like us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Trisha's blog. So all of that information will be in the episode notes. And we really appreciate you guys for listening, and hope you come back again to listen to our next episode. All right. So we're down to meeting relatives.
Yes.
And who was the first team that they showed?
Team Black.
Team Black.
Team Black. Casey met her younger sister, Robin, today. And Casey knew about Robin when she was adopted. Her adoptive parents told her that her mother had another child a few years after her. So she knew that her mom had another child and kept her. So that's one of those things that she's been struggling with her whole life. You placed me for adoption, but you had another baby 3 years later and you kept that baby. So she's always had a question in the back of her mind about what that was about. So Robin actually told Casey that she found out about her mom placing Casey for adoption because she found a letter that her mom had received, and the letter said that Casey is adjusting well to her new family. And Robin, being in the 6th grade, 10 or 11 years old, didn't understand what that meant. So she went and asked her mom, and her mom got visibly upset about it. And so that's how she found out that she had a sister out there. Yeah.
And, first off, Robin going through her mom's stuff at, 11, 12 years old or however old she was. All of us as kids, all of us as kids have gone into our parents' bottom drawer or in the closet or wherever.
Yes.
When your parents would leave and go to the store or go wherever, first place we're going is to the
see what they
spot.
got. Yes. But the fact that she went and told her mom what she did because she was so curious about this sister that she didn't know says a lot, because I don't know if most kids would have, told on themselves.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell on myself. But even though I don't really care for the way Casey is, so fixated on Team Green. I'm really kind of tired of it, which is why I don't plan to talk about it. Um, but I feel bad for her feeling that way.
Yeah.
I don't want to come off as I know it all. I haven't been through that. I was not adopted, so I don't know. But it's not always a parent didn't want you type
Yeah,
situation.
there's a lot of different
And
situations.
if you feel that way, I'm not telling you don't feel that way. All I'm saying is you know, it could be other things. It could be they was too young and they didn't feel like they could take care of them. Maybe a parent made them put it up
Yeah.
for adoption, or maybe they were sick and couldn't take care of. There's just a lot of reasons, and I just hate that she felt that way. I
Yeah.
don't want anybody to feel that way. No one
Right.
wants to feel unwanted, and so that's really, I hope that she continues to get the answers that she needs now that she's meeting all her family, and that she can come through, some of the things that she's been dealing with over
Yeah.
the last 30 years.
But I think it helped that that Robin told her that her mom was visibly upset about it, and that her mom told Robin, you'll understand better about making difficult choices when you get older. I think that might have hopefully brought Casey some sort of peace about it, that, this wasn't just a here you go, take her type of situation.
I think it did. She made it seem like that now she's starting to understand, a little bit more. And I think she will continue as she meets the, more family members and things like that. So then Team Black met their relative, and then Team Red was the next team that they showed, and of course it was Liz's family.
Yes.
She met her aunt Mary Louise and her cousin Sheila.
Yes.
And they met in front of a house, and they did all the hugging and talking and stuff that they normally do.
Yeah.
But after they talked, they was like, "Oh, so don't you want to go and to our family church and see the church?" And when they got there, they had a big party welcoming Liz to the family.
Yeah, it was really nice.
As soon as they walked through that door, I knew that it was going to be, a lot of people there to meet her, because her aunt said there was a lot of people around
the area
that's kin to them. And so I figured that there was going to be a big family reunion.
Yeah, and that's basically what they had. And it was, I think that she was, really excited to meet more of her family. And ultimately, her biological father and brother and sister showed up later when they got to the church as well.
Yeah, that was a big surprise. I didn't think
I didn't see that one coming.
But, she was able to see her brother. Her brother, her sister, and her dad again, all together,
right?
At once. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. I enjoyed that.
It was really nice, and she also found out that it was her Aunt Mary Louise's DNA test that linked her to her biological father's DNA, and that is her biological father's mother's sister. So that's how she's her Aunt Mary Louise. So it just goes to show you never know who's testing out there and who can be a match when you do those kind of tests.
Yeah, and if you haven't done that DNA test, I would encourage you, to look into it at least, and do it. And because you never know, you could find some information, or other people can find information for themselves.
Or you could help someone.
Yep. And I recently found some family because he did a DNA test. My now uncle I didn't know about, and then I did the DNA test, but we did it for two totally different reasons. But I was able to find all of my daddy's people
Yeah.
by that, us doing that test. So I would encourage you to do it, especially if you're interested in finding your family. And then, if you're listening and you need a DNA test, we have one.
We actually do have an
The first person that reaches out to us on Facebook on our Journey Through the Generations page, I'll give you one.
We just keep DNA kits around.
It's through
My Heritage.
My Heritage. So if you want a My Heritage DNA test, holler at your boy.
Yeah, you can get it. You just claim it.
Yeah.
And it's yours.
Journey Through the Generations. Send me a note on Facebook and I'll send it to you for free.
Yes.
I'm not going to even charge you for it. We bought it at a Roots Tech conference, and
then the world shut down.
Yep, and it's ready to go. So if you want it, holler at us for free. Okay, who's next?
Team Blue.
Team Blue, yep.
They met their first cousin, Travis, on their mom's side. And he didn't actually remember the twins, but he had memories of their mom. And he told them that she had a total of 5 children, including them. So there's 2 older than them and 1 younger than them. And they had no idea that there was 5, that she had 5 children.
Yeah, that's what's so good about this is your family continues to grow.
And different family members know different information.
Yep, that's true. So, and then Team Green, Monica met her brother who she knew who it was like as soon as he walked out.
It's like the 3rd week she's known exactly who these people are.
Yeah.
She knew Marge. She knew Crystal.
And now Kyle,
who is Crystal's twin.
Right. And so she was able to meet him and his family. Mm-hmm. And so that was good that they got a chance to sit down and talk.
Yeah. And it just seems like they're just, all of the teams are getting more pieces to the puzzles, meeting more family. And I know this is what the show is about, but if you've watched Relative Race in the past, it wasn't quite like this in the very beginning of this show. So the way that they're able to put pieces together every week to learn more about their family, this show has come a long way, and I love it. And that's one of the reasons why we do this podcast.
Yep. All right, so down to the results.
Ooh.
What everybody's waiting for.
Okay,
so,
now these results.
Yeah, this is the closest it's probably ever been.
Yes, I think.
Yeah. And so before we get into the results, the benefit for day 7 is immunity.
That's huge.
That is huge for somebody.
Yes.
And because it gets them a free day 7, and automatically gets them to day 8. Mm-hmm.
So you are guaranteed 2 more relatives.
Yep, just a few days from the last day, and you make it to the end. There's a good chance.
Yes.
So
Dan started out the results, and he said the total difference from 1st to 4th place was a total of 9 minutes.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's so close.
That is like, you get the wrong turn, you ask the wrong person, you stop to do whatever. That's your 9 minutes right there in between 4 teams.
You could basically go from first to last if you mess up in any way.
Yeah, if 9 minutes for 4 teams, that's 2 minutes. That's an average. 2 minutes per team. That's so close.
That's crazy. So the team that came into first place was Team Red, our team.
Yes, they finally got the bottom.
I wish I had those little horns to play on it.
Yes, I'm so happy for them.
Me too, because I don't want to say they were down.
They were.
They was like really
we got to get it together.
Needing a win.
They needed a win.
Something.
Because when I say they've been in the bottom, they've been in the bottom. They either the 3rd place or they got a strike.
Yeah.
So they needed this, and I think this, and it was just, and she had, met her family, had this little mini reunion, and it just was right on time.
And the thing about this is that, Team Red won, great. But for day 7 on next week's show, the odds of getting a strike go higher.
Right. It's only in between 3 people. Right. 3 teams.
And so it makes it for them even more important that they
Yeah.
stay on track and do what they
Yeah.
need to do.
Not only did they come in first place, but they were only 2 minutes over their time, and they had the longest drive time.
Yeah, for sure. Who came into second place?
Team Black with 3 minutes over.
And so they were 3 minutes over. If they did not have the real GPS benefit,
they would have gotten a strike.
They would have gotten a strike.
For sure.
No doubt.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
And God knows what Casey would have acted like if that had happened.
That would have been awful.
I digress. I'm not. Look, real quick, because we're coming to the end here. I'm just going to say this real quick. Casey needs to chill. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, she just needs to relax and just remember what the show is about. It's about finding family. I understand it's a competition, but the ultimate goal is to find family.
Yeah, so I'm not talking about her no more. All
okay,
right.
Who's next?
And so the third place team was Team Blue, which they had 2 strikes, so it was very important for them to win. So that makes Team Green have come in last place to earn their second strike.
Yes. Team Green came in 7 minutes over, and Team Blue came in 5 minutes over.
Which is nothing. This is so tight. I mean,
usually the first place team comes in double digits, like 10 or 11 minutes over. So they all did really good in their time. It's just that everybody did really good. So even the fourth place, coming in 7 minutes over any regular relative race day, that would be excellent. But it was just happened that everybody did good that day.
Yeah, and it just puts a lot of pressure on Team Green and Team Blue now, because they both have 2 strikes. And
one has immunity.
Yeah, and now,
another team has immunity.
Right,
so.
And now they have that pressure. Now they have the pressure of only 3 teams, competing for the win. And so, man, that is...
Yeah, because
that's
the odds. The odds are that one of the 2 of them, because it's only 3 that's going to get a strike next week. And the odds are that it's going to be Team Green and Team Blue. But I have faith that nobody's going home next week.
I hope so. Well, I hope that no one goes home. So that's what I'll say. So, anyway, I think that's it. You have anything else about the show?
No, it was a really good show. These results had me sitting on the edge of my seat. So yes, I'm very excited to see next week with Team Red having immunity. I don't feel like that's going to change their gameplay any. I think they're going to go to try to win, even though they don't even know what the prize is going to be. But I feel like they're going to, do whatever they do normally to try to win.
Yep. So, all right, y'all. We appreciate you for listening, hanging in there with us this season through our relative race recaps. If you're enjoying our recap episodes and all the other podcasts we have going on, we appreciate you for listening. Like us, subscribe, follow us, all on social media. Read Trisha's blog. Of course, listen to all our podcast episodes, and all that information will be in the show notes. And I think I'll end by saying, get vaccinated, wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands, wear a mask.
You said that one already.
Oh, okay, my bad. Wear a mask and have a good night, man. We appreciate y'all. Have a good one.